Okay, first we need to understand a few things about the discovery, and then we can understand how this service mapping will be working in the system. So what is service mapping? In a sense, it maps all the software and the hardware components associated with the service and places this information in the ServiceNow CMDB. It's agentless and no additional software is required on target devices. Is service centric and it discovers configuration items relevant to the one. So, okay, first of all, we need to understand. Okay, so what about this probes and sensors? What and all it is doing, the pattern we are writing now. So now take an example. We have a mid server, and whenever the discovery kit runs, the mid server used to send some commands, and it will be getting the information about that hardware informations. Am I correct? But still, once you get the hardware information, it's going to tell you whether it is an CPU, or whether it is a Windows machine, what type of OS it has, what are the physical information that the system has, all the information will be given to you. But when it is coming to the software information, what are all the software it is holding and how many hours of things it is holding out, everything has to be given by the system itself, like how we want to get that software information from that, which is with the help of this service mapping only, we are going to get the information of the software. Now what happens, what are the key service mapping key components? In the sense, we used to have the discovery patterns, identification applications from the connections, discovery detect host, identification and reconciliation on the mid server to provide access to the particular target. So what is the service map architecture? So when you have a single data center, so the minimum requirement what we should have in the sense, we should have the ServiceNow instance along with the service mapping plugin installed. Once you have that, here is the mid server in the target missions we have within the data center. So you will be getting all the information through the port call 443, which is nothing but the mid server device missions. So here it is an architecture of the multiple data center. Now what happens if you have a single data center, that will be happen. If it is a multiple data centers we have for a particular data center 1, 2, 3, then all this data center you have one mid server in each. From with that help of the information, we will be getting all these devices information within the service.
One question, Fancy.
Yeah.
So it couldn't be multiple mid servers in one domain, right? One cluster, like what I'm saying. There are 3 accounts, right? 3 data centers, right?
You can
right.
have. You within a single network, if you have around 100, taken 100, even though for 50-50 machine, you can have one mid service. So that way it can have a cluster or the balanced one. So,
right.
Yeah.
Each data center can have multiple
mid server. It's not only one. Because for example, if you see over here now, within a data center, if you have around 1,000 missions in a sense, can it be handled by one single mid server? No, right? We need to have at least 2 to 3 to handle everything. So it is good to have multiple mid server also, no issues on that. So the next one is the integrations, how it actually doing. For example, here it is mostly the softwares, what you're going to identify and whatever things going to have. So here it is like an automatic top-down discovery we are going to do. Like once you find an Windows, within the Windows, what are the applications we have, or within the web control or the web servers, what are the devices we have, within the devices, what are the applications we have installed, and within that, who is using that particular devices. All this information we will be getting from the service mapping. And what do you mean by mid server? So just for the recap of the normal mid server and discovery, I just added the few slides over here. What do you mean by the discovery?
The mid server is a component which interacts with the customer nodes and ServiceNow, and which collects the information from the customer nodes and push it to the ServiceNow with the managed discovery patterns.
Okay. Prasad, your name is Paravar or?
Varaprasad, actually, I just keep PRA, VRA.
Okay.
My name is Prasad. Actually, I'm your LinkedIn contact, Manikanta Sagireddy.
Okay, okay, fine. So nowadays it is getting too much confused within few people actually. So that's what my question is.
My name is very large one. Venkata Manikanta Saivara Prasad Sagireddy.
Why you give this much of big names? Actually?
I don't know. I don't know. It's my
After telling
forefathers.
your name, I should have a cup of water. It seems glass of water.
It doesn't problem at anywhere except bank accounts and applying any applications whenever onboarding to some other accounts. Then I'm facing the challenges and headaches.
Hmm. Okay, it's your name. My name will be difficult to pronounce, but not this much. There are very few who pronounce my name correctly, you know. So
Rachel
what is,
Raj.
yeah, Prasial Raj it is. So that's okay. Let's see
We
this.
have almost 13 mutual contacts.
Okay. So the next one is about the mid server. You know how this mid server will be downloaded into the next system and how this will be sitting within the other system. Now the important one. This is the prerequisite. If you want to have, you can take a snip and you can keep it in your system.
No, I don't take any snap. I'll just make a note of it. CentOS 4 Red Hat 6 greater than 6 version. 2012. To any 2012 is okay, right? It doesn't mean like R2, R1.
Only 2012.
2012 one greater. .NET Framework 3.5 greater.
Don't install within your system. Okay? No, I crashed one of my laptop. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. And then I can go with the cloud environment. I'll
With cloud, you can.
open JDK version.
You are my LinkedIn contact.
1.80_231. Yes, I'm the same person.
I'm sorry, I'm really getting confused with you and the Paravat guy. Who's that guy?
I'm the same person, Pravar. See, Prasad, PRA, Vara, VAR.
Oh, you are on Telegram also.
Yes, the
Okay.
Telegram is the main source for data saving, right? We can save and we can get the data.
Okay, fine. No issues.
In order to I don't want to be open in Telegram because we will get unnecessary pings, right? So I just changed my name to Pravar.
Fine.
No.
So please note it down this one, and the RAM should be 8 GB. Okay. Another one thing.
Okay.
And 64
Okay,
data
and 64 bit
bit
is
operating
mandatory,
system
right?
is recommended. Yeah.
Okay, right. Right. I got you. So,
No, usually why
and
operating that one. Anyway, you will be finding this in it. But if sometime your client may ask this question, they may not aware how this actually works.
okay, and actually, I didn't see in the last video. I didn't get a chance to see the because it doesn't shade for me how to install mid server on my node. But I don't think it's a big challenge because it's a simple application, right? If we know the source,
It's a very
from
easy.
there we can download.
If you have
Yes.
the normal ServiceNow instance, okay, go for the
Mm.
ITOM guided setup.
Okay.
Within that, they will be explaining you how to install the mid server within the system. Very easy one, guided setup.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Else you can do in this way. Fine. You can
Fine.
join the C2 virtual machine. From private cloud, you can do this.
I'll go with the private cloud. Anyway, we have a mini trial versions, right? I will create one trial account and I will establish a small network.
So what do you guys understand from this launching the horizontal discovery?
No. For the discovery on the discovery schedules can be used to launch discovery.
Now there is a question, okay? You install the mid server in the host machine. Now how our instance and that mid server is getting connected?
Uh, through the, though it's in network, we are getting through 443 port, right? We are collecting the information with the 443 port in the same network,
But
right?
still, how it knows that it has to connect with this particular instance?
They should be having some agent, right? They have to get installed one agent.
Yeah. But how that agent is connecting with us? That connecting with our instance, which is sitting in the cloud.
In generally, the agent, I know how agents work. The agent should be having a secured path where it has to reach the destination. I think we need to configure that destination address on the agent configuration while we are configuring the agent. This is what we generally do in agent level certificate. Agent level configuration. If you are doing, if I'm not wrong.
Usually, what happens once you download the mid server agent, no, within that there will be a config file. Within that file, you have to give your instance name, user ID, and password.
Hello?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So within that
Yes,
agent,
yes.
you will be having a config file. In the file, it is XML file. You have to open it and you have to give the username and password and the instance name. Okay, over there, which will be connecting our mid server and the instance. So this
Got
is
you.
how to establish the connection between the instance and the mid server.
Okay.
Okay. The next one is about the discovery process flow.
Very horizontal.
Can you see this picture?
Yes. I'm able to see.
Yeah. A basic picture actually this is. So what are the different phases of discovery?
The different phases of discovery is like entering the source and identifying the open ports and fetching the details of that particular node.
Actually, only 4 phases you have to say: scanning, classification, identification, and exploration. Okay. Once you done with this 4 phases, then you have to explain in each phases what it will be happening. They might ask you like, okay, during the classification, what it will do, during the scanning phase, what it will do, what is the extra stuff, what you're doing in the exploration part. So in each and every phases, you have to know what this one, each one, everyone will be doing separately.
Okay, the scanning is a part like what are the availability nodes in the network, and the classification is like identifying, triggering and grouping them with the OS setup, OS level or predefined groups. Identification is like what are the subcomponents in the particular node, and if I'm not wrong, what is the OS and what are the nodes it existing. And discovery is like the complete picture of the entire node, like including with the network components, if I'm not
So during this scanning phase, we will be scanning all the ports within the system, correct? Within the network. We are going to see what if there is an open port, Within that, we will be finding and we will be connecting it. So mostly the classification part, it will classify what type of machine it is, like it is a Windows, Linux or something else. Then it will be putting the credentials mainly within the classification part. Once the credential is passed
Okay.
over, and it will find what type of classifier it is, um, like how to say, within this credential, everything is goes up and goes well. Then there it will process the process classification. It will process like
Right.
once it finds the Windows, it will
Credit.
find the OS, what type of OS it is, Windows 12 to whatever Windows Server, whatever it is. Once this classification done, once it finds a particular class, and it will be putting that once it finds, for example, it is a Windows server, then it find a class table, correct? CMDB underscore C underscore win underscore server. This is the class name. So with the class name, it will go and trigger the pattern because it identified, no, this is the class. So for that class, we will be pattern. Obviously, that pattern will be start running in the system.
Okay.
After that, there are some dependency CIs. For example, once you find the particular classification as the Windows server, along with that, if there is a networks or switches has been connected with it. Okay. Now what happened? These dependencies will be get triggered into a system automatically. Once it finds all the information about the Windows server, it start exploring what are the other elements that is connected with this, the network adapters, network cables, whatever it is, then it will explore and it will also get that CI information also within the system. Fine.
Okay.
So
Right.
this is how it happens for all the 4 phases. Now there is a scenario based questions. Okay. Now what happened? You have launched a discovery in a particular system. Okay, where do you have 10,000 devices? And you
Okay.
mention the session batch size as 1,000. Now, how
Okay.
will be running in the system?
So it will be initiating the first batch and second batch batches wises, whereas in the failover will be triggered within the logs, and also we can schedule an automated
Who will
job
be doing
to do
this
the
issue
failovers.
actually? Who will be taking this first 10,000 it process and next 10,000 it will be process? Who is responsible for this? Whether it is a discovery or some other
Mid mid server, right?
mid server. So only you have to, for example, there are 10,000 devices in the network, and you mentioned the session size as 10,000, no? This load balancing on the cluster part, everything will be taken care by the mid server itself. It will automatically divide this level of network devices by the session probe. And for example, it is 10,000 devices and 1,000 is our batch size. So it will split the discovery process in 10. First 1,000,
Okay.
second 1,000, third 1,000. It will be split the mid server and it will be doing the things.
Right.
Fine. Do you understand the process that runs behind the system, right? Which so once you
Yes.
clear on
Yes.
this only, then only we can move to the clear understanding of this service mapping.
Yes. I'm able to get.
Yeah. And let's move on to slowly the next one. Okay, let's move on to the next topic. Okay, next to the application dependency mapping overview, how the host mapping and other things is mapping. So you were there during the CMDB, correct?
Yes.
So there we have seen few things about the dependencies, hosting rule, a containment rule, and all we have seen, correct? For example, whenever
Right. Right. The hosting rules, like it will segregate the servers into based on the OS part, application, like it will be segregated through the based on the services running in it. This is what
Yeah.
about, right?
Yes. Now what happened? This every information, what and all you have already given in the CMDB, that is the main key to unlock all these things actually. If you mentioned it everything correctly in the CMDB, then you will be you can sort out the duplications easily. You can sort out the
Right.
all type of servers and applications.
Yes, I think we've
Everything.
gone through it. It might be having a multiple or duplicate IP addresses, but while in the CMDB, it will be working with the serial number and MAC address.
Yes. So like the same way, it is different to each and every CIs we have. Okay. So here you can see there is an application called UTRT IP, some name is given, and that app has a relationship with this particular host mission. Okay, and that host
Okay.
mission has relationship with the network and adapter and the disk system. Now what happened? This thing will be finded. If you once you find the devices of this Windows, automatically to the dependency, this network adapter and disk will be found out. But how you will be finding this application where the service mapping is comes into the picture? Okay. Now let's jump on the service. The discovery process classifier configuration, how it is doing the process in the system. Now,
Okay.
now you could see only the Windows server and the other things you have to mapping before mapping the process. What it will have, it will locate the unique process that reveals the specific application that running on the host. Once determining the unique condition for the process, new process can put it in the system and then only it is going to run. So I will be showing this in the, I can give you the I can give you the thing where you can go and practice also. Okay.
Okay. Did you have any practice instances created? Because I didn't have this partner portal link at the moment. My ex-partner portal got deleted.
I can give you
I
one.
need to create. I need to create here because my emails are not yet created. Once they shared my details, once I received my laptop, I will create a partner portal in your organization. Will it accept Gmail? It doesn't accept, right?
It will accept, but the thing is over here, no, everything will be paid one actually. For a PDI,
Okay,
it is
but
free,
huh,
but for this for certifications and all, once you go and try, no, it is will be cost.
right. So even for the trial instances, will they accept the Gmail? I didn't try
Yeah,
it
PDI
any
you can
time.
create by your own Gmail. That is not an issue.
Okay, I will try to create with my Gmail once.
Okay, the first and foremost point you have to know about the entry points within the system. Entry points is the first one you have to know within the service mapping, how to create the entry points within the system. So you better go and check about this this cloud.cd.com:8081 HTTPS, providing the starting point mapping to begin and
Cloud.cd. .com:8081. Right. So it consists of the details, right?
yeah.
Define top level application that compares services. Example. Already a starting point for the mapping.
మంచిగా వచ్చేసిందా అది ఎప్పుడు చెప్పాడు నేను కొడతావా మంచి
Okay, let's see the process flow of the service mapping. So when you start with the service mapping, for example, first you have to tell about in which web server or in which web server it is the working. That is the starting entry point of the system. Once the host CI is existed within the system, if it is yes, then the service mapping process will get started. So using the identification section, it will be finding what type of, whether it is matching any kind of pattern with it. Once it is successful, and it is going to continue with the identification process of all the things, then it will be finding the post discovery process. Then only it will launch the discovery pattern itself. Once it is launched, then it will be finding what are all the web servers or application that is sitting in the host machine.
Sorry to disturb. 1 second. Let me come cross check once again. So the entry point will be checking, right? It will be checking, right? First entry point.
Yes.
Entry point is checking. So it will check the host existing or not. Host existency. If yes, it will be processed to reconciliation.
It will process to service mapping process. This arrow goes to over here.
Okay. Right. Okay. Understood. Service mapping process. Service mapping. And there identification sections. Service mapping is the steps like identification sections. Identification sections is like what we will be identifying here.
Any kind of pattern match, CMDB creation or updation of app, whatever it is.
Okay, CMDB batch. And from there, IIS pattern match setup successful. If the setup got failed in the second phase after identification, I don't think it will fail. Connection
if the
section.
setup got failed in the sense, you have to give the correct entry point.
Okay.
The entry point itself get connected in the second step only. Once the connection has been established, actually.
Connection section is like a checking with the port, I guess. Connection section, establishing the proper section.
See, usually here the connection port will be like HTTPS:/ some IP addresses. Normal web browsers. Once you did with that, if you get that one, then you will get the endpoints. What are the endpoints you're going to get connect with them? Then you can going to have the web servers or the application that is running in the host. Or within the web server, if there is any host machine running, that way it will be plotting the dependency view.
Okay. If the CAS does not exist, it will be flap at the initial stage only.
Fail in the initial stage.
Right. Okay. So here again it will cross check for the host in the second phase.
Yes.
CA check. It will done the CA check. If it is no, then it's another matter. If it is yes, it will be processed to the service mapping continuous process continuous. Under the three, if CI exists.
Service mapping will continues, okay? Then it will find what
Okay.
type of pattern, or once it identify what type of application server it is, then that pattern will be started running in the system. And then that CI will be
Okay.
created. For example,
It-
it will be it can be Apache web server. Then if it needs to find that particular class, then that identification pattern will be running. All the information it will get from that server and it will be putting in the system. So
Okay.
again, there is an, if it is find that MS SQL server, then it will go on run the reconciliation already to update or if it is already presented in the server.
See, the reconciliation is like it could be any server or any service in the CI.
Yes, yes,
So it will be identifying reconciliation.
yes.
Reconciliation will be re-identifying
Yeah.
these services in the CI.
It will create the dependencies at first. With this host, this
Uh-huh.
application is running. So it is a top-down.
Okay.
It is not going to find whether it is present or not. It is going to create a connection between these two CI host within that application, above that application, whatever it is.
Okay. Okay. And if the CI is not found, if the CI is no, then
Then it
will-
goes to the host discovery process. It tries to discover that particular CI again, whether it is.
it will rerun the discovery.
Yeah, yeah.
It will rerun the discovery, and if it exists, it will be again processed with the reconciliation and service mapping continue. I mean, initiating the service mapping, and it will be reconciliating, and it will be added. If it doesn't found, again it will be terminated. Right?
Yes.
Perfect. I'm good with it. Good at
Sure, sure.
discovery. Success. Then, if yes, it will be went to reconciliation. If no, it will be stopped. Okay, understood. Understood. Am I audible? Hello.
Yeah, yes, you are. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So let's wind up the session over here. Then it will be too much of.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can see a practical session. Tomorrow you
Right.
are available. Same time.
Yes, I will be available. I will be
Fine.
available.
11.
And you said that tomorrow there will be cross connect, right?
Cross connect. From 14th and 15th only it will be.
Okay, 14 and 15. What
Yes.
is the date tomorrow? Is it Friday or Thursday?
Today it is Friday.
Today is Friday, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Fine. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
We are done with the 50% of one. We are started with another 50%.
Huh.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.